drowning. In this video, we're going to look at drowning. Now, drowning is a form of death by suffocation, and it unfortunately occurs because the water has filled the lungs up, and that interferes with the breathing because the lungs become really heavy and oxygen stops being delivered to the heart. And without the supply of oxygen, the body just shuts down. We're going to talk about dry drowning and secondary drowning a bit later on, but in this video we're really going to be talking about adults that are drowning. Now, the World Health Organization state there are an estimated 320,000 annual drowning deaths worldwide, and people who are at greater risk tend to be males, children and people with increased access to water. Now, in a situation of somebody drowning, remember we're talking about an adult here, then the patient has most likely stopped breathing because of a lack of oxygen, a respiratory issue, not a cardiac issue, i.e. a problem with the heart. So it's very, very similar to the reason why a child or baby would have stopped breathing. It's a lack of oxygen. So if we find someone that's drowning in the water, then make sure it is safe for you to be able to go and help them. Shout for someone to come and help, and only attempt to get into the water if you can make sure you are safe. If you do manage to recover them safely, bring them onto dry land, and we'll do exactly the same thing as if you would do in the house or outside on the street if you found an adult that's unconscious. You open the airway and you would look, listen and feel for breathing for 10 seconds. In drowning cases, if the patient is not breathing, then you would open the airway and you would pinch your nose and you would deliver 5 rescue breaths. And it may be enough to give them that 5 rescue breaths, and the patient might just suddenly start breathing again. If not, then you would start with 30 compressions followed by 2 breaths, and you continue doing that for 1 minute. If they haven't come back to life after 1 minute and there was nobody else there to help you, you would leave the casualty and you would make sure you get help to them by calling emergency services. 1 minute of CPR just may be enough. It may be enough to get them back to life. They might start coughing again. If they do, great news. Place them in a recovery position and keep them warm. So just remember the key differences between an adult who's unconscious in the water and an adult who's unconscious on land. The main difference is in water, it's probably a respiratory issue and you need to give 5 rescue breaths, and you continue with 30 to 2 for 1 minute before you go and get help. Whereas if they've collapsed on dry land, it's more likely to be a cardiac issue, and as soon as you know they're not breathing, you must call the ambulance straight away and then begin 30 compressions and 2 rescue breaths.